So today we're going to talk about a really interesting ICO. It's called Aitheon. Now this is going to be talking about AI and robotics. Now the thing is, when most people start to think about all this artificial intelligence and robots and all the rest of it, people start thinking about the Terminator and Skynet and all those types of things. Now unfortunately it's not quite that dramatic. However, this is a really interesting ICO and we're going to have a look at it in a little bit more detail today.
Since Aitheon handles the accounting, reservations, and bills, Antonio has time to focus on his customers. To enable the continual growth of the platform, Aitheon's Creators Program provides a direct path for sales and utilization of innovator creations. Kate is working remotely for Aitheon while traveling the world.
I'm back.
So hopefully that little video has just given you a little bit of a flavour about what Aitheon is all about. Now in terms of, like we've been talking about the AI and the robotics and stuff, and really what their fundamental thing they're trying to do is just help automate the day-to-day tasks. So all the boring stuff that we don't really want to do, maybe some of the manual labour stuff that's quite intensive, quite tiring, and robots can just do that. Now the big thing is that with most of the tasks and technology and advancements, the robots can actually do nearly 90% of most tasks. So we don't have to do the heavy labouring and lifting anymore, which is quite cool because we can get involved in doing other things, or growing a business, or focusing on marketing, or doing the things instead of humping and dumping stuff. So in terms of these robots coming along and everyone thinks that they're going to lose their jobs, is actually going to change. And as we've seen throughout the years, many years ago, when the Industrial Revolution happened, everybody was going to factories, everything was very manual. Then obviously there was a portion of where robots took over. Then people went into doing all the paperwork and admin that goes with all that stuff. And it's just basically evolving continually. So where robots will do the hard work and the labor as such, the humans will be obviously evolving into other roles, and this is where the AIs and humans will be working together. So you might be thinking, are they going to lose jobs? But actually what it does, it creates jobs at the same time, because there's certain elements that robots just can't do. So that's where it takes human intervention to come and finish those tasks, and obviously that will create a whole new bunch of skills, maybe a new industry potentially. And the thing is with that, you can work from anywhere. And if anyone watches like Richard Branson and bits and pieces, you'll understand that people work best when they have flexibility. And this will give you that, because you could go on holiday, or you could be on the other side of the country and you can be working with Aitheon. So that's pretty cool. And some of the stuff they're doing is they're using swarm cluster technology as well. So overall, this is a very ambitious project. There's lots of ideas in here. And I think, as we go forward, that we will see, robots will do more. These guys are really sort of engaging with this sort of vision and sort of shaping what potentially the future of robotics will look like. Now, Aitheon operates on a circular hierarchy, and that's driven by 5 keynotes, and we're going to talk about them separately because it's sort of what really brings Aitheon to the forefront. And it's all based on this distributed cluster of nodes. So the first area is Digibots, and these are virtual robots. Now these can do things such as monitoring income and outcome streams. Now I think this is, most people might look at this and go, that's a bit boring, but I don't find it. I think it's quite an interesting concept, because the amount of people that can't manage their money these days is unbelievable. And you only have to look at things like credit card debts. Look at America, they're 20 trillion in debt, yet they only bring in 3 trillion a year. So there's a complete mismatch. They could probably do with this technology, and it would really help them. But what I'm trying to get at is that these can do like these small tasks that can really highlight to you quite simple things, but can be very useful. It can also do purchasing decisions as well. Now again, if you think about certain industries, the procurement industry, again, this could have a big knock-on effect there, where there's smarter buying. So at the moment when people are buying and selling and stuff, it's based on relationship. It's not based on price or whatever metrics or algorithms that you put into the system. It's based on, do I have a good relationship with this person? Do they turn up on time? Do they deliver the goods? Yeah, right, I'll work with them. They're a good business partner. Where these purchasing decisions could be, they'll be less emotional, shall we say, and they'll just go for best price, best quality, or whatever the decision making is. And also you've got document sorting. Now I'm really a big fan of this because I've got loads of tax receipts I need to sort out, and if there was something like a digibot that could sort all this out for me, I'd buy one tomorrow. And they're going to monetize it by adding in a monthly service charge. So the next one is mechbots, and these are physical robots just like this one, and these work with digibots. Now these guys perform physical tasks, and as you can see here, this one has gone to collect a tire. So you know, an order's probably come through in the system. It says you need item XYZ. It's gone to fetch it and it brings it back. Now again, the mechbots can perform these menial tasks and stuff. You know, we look on a piece of paper, we've got to find the racking, we've got to do this, that and the other, then we've got physics. You know, the robots just do it. It's nice and simple and easy. So the one concept that really grabbed me was this one about parking cars. Now I use the airport quite a lot. Now imagine this. At the moment you book online, you have to book a space, you have to be there within certain time frames and all this stuff, and then you arrive, you wait for the bus, then you get on the bus, then you get off the bus the other end, then you have to wait for the bus. It's a bit of a nightmare, isn't it? Imagine this, turning up to the airport, right outside, taking all your stuff out, you've driven onto the platform, you pay, you know, in tokens or whatever it is at that moment in time, and it just goes parks your car. Now, when you fly back and you go through customs, little alarm goes off going, hey, he's back through customs. The car comes back and it's waiting for you. So you just get in the car and drive off. None of these like pay £5 to wait 5 minutes to pick people up and all that nonsense. It's just there waiting for you. That would be absolutely perfect. And I think also for the airports as well, it could be a massive money maker as well. So it works both ways. So robotics is highly used, as we already know, in a lot of industries. This is the Kellogg's warehouse in Manchester. I used to work there many moons ago in their head office. The whole factory pretty much is run by just forklifts. And what it does, it will go through the factory, it will pick up your Frosties, your Cocoa Pops, whatever it is, and just dump it on a truck. It's that simple. I mean, it's boxes and pallets really, so it's quite simple. With Aitheon, obviously they're trying to take these things to the next level and do more complex tasks as well. Now, one of the great things that Aitheon has is the pilot program. Now, this is talking about the autonomous last mile. Now, like we talked about at the very beginning, the robots can do about 90% of the tasks, but it's that 10% that they struggle to finish. Now, there's just some things that robots can't do. They don't have emotional intelligence. They don't have those key skills that we do to make particular decisions on certain things. Now, what the robot will do is it will recognize those situations and it will ask for help. And when it does, a human will come in and be able to finish the task. And like we said, these pilots can be anywhere in the world doing whatever they're doing or whatever, and they can just jump online and they can help finish the task. And once the robot completes the task, then it will just crack on with whatever it needs to do next. Really, really simple, and it's more of an intervention program, I think, where, you know, as soon as the robot hits a problem, oh, I need some help, human comes in, helps them out, job done, crack on. That's a pretty cool concept. So the next one is specialists, and this again is the autonomous last mile for digibots. Now this is all done through multiple blind consensus, and it's determining the quality of the work that's taken place. And this is really where the blockchain comes into fruition here, because obviously we know that blockchain is very good for this consensus piece, and therefore it fits very well with the specialist. And the node is rewarded for the consensus. So obviously there's incentive to run a node as well. So you've got the creator program, and this is an IDE platform. So it's a user interface where creators can come and create their own mech bots and digibots, which is pretty cool. And they can bring people together, and this will speed up the process. And the reason for that is that there'll be more brains working on all of the problems and creating really great solutions. And I think it's all about brain power when it comes down to it. The more people you got working on stuff, the more creative people will be, the more ideas that will come out, and that will just build this community that will help and bring this all together. So in terms of the roadmap, Q1's pretty much done and dusted. Q2 is the ICO launch, is what we're talking about today. They're establishing themselves in Estonia, and obviously that's for tax reasons. A lot of ICOs are doing that currently. They begin the testing for the Aitheon Creator Program, the small, medium-sized businesses, and also the Specialist Program as well. So lots of different things happening in Q2. Very busy. So into Q3, they'll have the launch of the new community structure. They'll have the point of sale devices available for the beta businesses. Creator program fully functional then. Specialist program will also have their public launch. Q4, they'll be looking at the pilot program. Obviously, this is where you'll be able to use the tokens. So again, if you're a Aitheon holder, by the time we get to the end of the ICO, you've probably got about 6 months before the token becomes fully functional. And then in 2019, Q1, the community is going to vote whether it remains on Ethereum or convert to an independent coin. Now, again, this is quite interesting. Seeing a lot of projects, they're moving across to Cardano, or their plan is to move to Cardano when that's up and running. There's also the rollout for the specialist programs and also the Aitheon pilot fully programmed operational. So a lot's going to happen in the next year. They're pretty much going to have everything done and dusted. So very busy year for these guys. Very active, but a very interesting project. Now, in terms of their social media, got a bit of a Facebook following, fair few on Twitter, a little bit on Instagram, but again, not massive amounts on there at the moment, and obviously their Telegram as well. But this is grown at such a rate that the numbers have been changing constantly. But they've got a fairly decent social media presence, and I know that they're starting to dial this up in the next quarter. So again, I'd expect these numbers to double, triple, even quadruple. So if we have a look at the team, the big dog is Andrew Archer, CEO. Now, this guy's been around for some time within the robotics industry. He's been CEOs of companies since 2006, so he has a wealth of experience, if not a market leader within this area. And actually, he's got a good length of time at each company. And the thing here is that this guy's got a great experience within his field. And you only have to listen to some of his videos and when he's talking about robotics of just how passionate he is. And he's probably on the super geek scale. He's probably off the Richter scale with the knowledge and everything that he has on robots and artificial intelligence. But he comes across as a really articulate, smart guy. And he gets a really big tick for me. So the next guy is Ryan Burleson. He's the CSO. Now, he's been in business development for nearly 23 years. And if you look at his CV, he's been operating at sort of higher level roles since 2009. So again, brings a real big wealth of experience to the table. And again, one of the big things for me is that he has a good length of time at each company. So I like to see that because it means that, one, they didn't get fired. So it means they were good at their job. And also it shows that they've got commitment to the project. And as these two are the main guys, for me, this is sort of A-team vibe here. So in terms of their advisors, they've got Clark Kent, commonly known as Mo apparently. Now, he was an early investor in Dropbox. Now, this says to me that this guy can follow the money. He knows a good project when he sees it, and he's willing to invest. He's also collected $250 million in investments for a crypto fund. If you look at his LinkedIn, he's got like these blockchain forums all over the world. So he's doing these events, very switched on in terms of the space. I think he's been in the space since about 2012. So very switched on cookie, quite like this guy. So the next guy is Cyrus Hodes. Now, one of the things that I really liked about his sort of CV and LinkedIn profile is that he does a lot of liaising with governments. Now, I think this is really good because some of the things that I'm seeing in the news is that governments and even the EU are really trying to get behind blockchain and really, get under the skin and understand what it is and how it can benefit. And I think this guy would come in very useful in those situations. And again, he's got varied experience, but also across varied countries. So again, some of the connections that this guy may have could be very valuable as we move forward with the Aitheon project. He's part of other projects where he's shaping the governance of artificial intelligence. So, you know, he's both of these guys heavily invested in the crypto and also AI space. If we just take a quick look at the website now, it's pretty cool, to be fair. I like this interactive video theme that's playing at the very beginning. Pursue your passions. How cool is that? And let us handle the rest. Hey, slick, very slick. So, but if we move down, you can see that they've had some very good ratings. It will tell you about all the different things that are going on as well. Coin allocations. There's some really cool videos. You can see the rest of the team here. So some of the other people that really stick out here is obviously Sergey as well. I've looked at his profile online. And I've actually had communications with Erica, Alexandros, and also Daniel as well. So speaking to a lot of those guys at the Aitheon team, and hopefully we'll be interviewing Andrew Archer very, very soon. So I'm very excited about that, and it'll be a complete geek fest. So let's talk about the token itself. It's going to be based on the Ethereum network, so it's going to be an ERC20 token. The Aitheon platform itself will have the wallet all built in and stuff, so it's all going to be a little bit of one-stop shop, which is really cool. Now, they're going to be available on different exchanges. Obviously, they can't say anything right now, but there are exchanges in the pipeline. So obviously, those details will be released really soon. Obviously, I couldn't get hold of those details. The token itself is used for services, and therefore it creates its own ecosystem. And what will make that ecosystem really work is the fact that there is many use cases. So, you know, we've only touched on a few today, but there are so many use cases. This can cross-pollinate into very many different industries, workplaces. So the use cases are massive, and it could even integrate into everyday life. And that's one of the most exciting things I think about this project. This could be monster truck. So let's talk about the token use. So obviously we've seen it's been used for rewards, but also, you know, you must hold a certain amount of tokens if you want to participate in different elements. So if you want to be a specialist, then you need 20,000 tokens. If you want a business participating, you need 40,000 tokens. Creators program 70,000, and the pilot program 300,000. Now the total coins, they're going to take 40 to 80 years to mine, so we don't need to worry about loads of tokens flooding the market straight away. So it's going to be really limited supply and obviously like a slow release. So let's talk about the ICO itself. So key details are it starts on the 20th of April. Now these guys have a sliding scale of bonuses. So on day one, this is the day that you can get the absolute best bonus, and that will be starting at 30%, and that will cost you 24 cents pretty much. Now they did have a pre-ICO. It went for about 17 cents. So there's not a massive jump in price, which is pretty good to see. Over time, that bonus will decrease to 0. So day 45, there'll be no bonuses at all, and that'll be 35 cents. If you're a smart cookie, then you'll realize that you want to get in early on this one so you can maximize your bonus that you can get with these guys. Now, as you can see here, we talked about the mining of the coin, and 68.67% of that is dedicated, so that's nearly 2 billion or so. Now for the actual ICO that's taking place, there'll be 250 million tokens up, so that's 7.14%. In totality, there will be 3.5 billion tokens, but as we've talked about, they're going to take forever to mine, so you don't have to worry about that. And after the ICO, there will be 335 million tokens in circulation. If we look back and have a look at how many tokens you need to hold to be involved in different programs, actually 335 million isn't a massive amount of tokens. So I think there will be some good demand for this project, especially when it kicks off. So in terms of the white paper, this is quite a big read. Probably might need to read it more than once. And also, you know, definitely watch the videos that are out there on Aitheon, because it will again give you some really good concept and depth to this project. They go into quite a lot of detail about their sort of revenue model, so how are they going to make money from this, which is again interesting because you don't want to buy into something that's not going to make money. And they have a whole bunch of use cases here to help you understand, you know, how the robots can really sort of help. And this is the section that really got me hooked. So as you can see here, you can see the bonus is decreasing over time. So just make sure that you get in early on this one. And this is what I think of the Aitheon project.
I like it a lot.
I just think this is a very great project. If you want to be involved, then head over to their website, sign up to the whitelist, and then you'll be ready to rock and roll for the 20th so you can maximize that discount. As always, guys, thank you for tuning in. If you want to follow me on social media or join one of my Facebook groups, then please, it'd be great to have you as part of the community. And if you want to find out how you can get great discounts on ICOs, then head over to Crypto Rookies and you can find out more information. As always, guys, thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next video.
I'll be back.